controversial to a lot of people, seeing those logs pulled out of here. Timber harvest that's going on here at Indian Selena Lake. And that is how they pay for a lot of expenses here at the park. That's how they build the new bathhouses. They keep the campgrounds up to date and looking good. That's where a lot of that money comes from. So that's the timber harvest. There they go. Look like some pretty big trees, probably some old growth trees. I don't know. You're going to have a battle on both sides of that coin, I guarantee you. Jazz are going to go ahead and do a little hike. This is Indian Selena Lake. Eventually, the trail we're going to be on will eventually take us back to Indian Lake. Not so sure we'll go that far, but it's a nice little trail. Jazz is ready to go. Jazz is wearing her blaze orange. I've got some blaze orange on the back of me. It's not firearm season yet, but you still want to be cautious out there because the hunters are out there scouting right now. And you never know when you could run into possibly someone that's maybe wanting to hunt a little bit illegal, a little bit early, called poaching. You just don't know. We want to be seen out there. We don't want to surprise anybody. You know, this is that section of trail we're going to hike. That if you look back at some of my videos, put a picture of the video it is. So if you want to look at it on my channel. But it's when I came back here to do some trail maintenance and they had just burnt this trail completely up. This whole section. In fact, it was all still smoking and stuff. There's some of the trees right there that didn't go down. But yeah, that was kind of shocking. That was weird walking through that. I've never been through a section where they had just caught it on fire and burned it up like that. Beautiful section, yeah. Now you can see all the area that was burned, and I'm thinking that was about a year or so ago when that happened. And here's an intersection right here. This is where your main trail comes through here and then turns and then heads right on down, and that's going toward Indian Lake. This right here says Two Lakes Connection Trail. So I got to remember going back, that is the way we want to go. If we went the other way, we would get way out of bounds. We could find our way back, but it would take quite a while. You know, I was looking at a video that a guy had from Michigan. It might have been Outdoor Michigan on YouTube. This area on this tree right back here, there are people that actually harvest that for medicine. And I can't remember what the name of it is, but that is a giant place on a tree. A lot of the places that this guy was harvesting, they were maybe as big as a football, something like that. But that's a giant section right there. I'll have to look that up and see if I can't put it down below in the links, what that is on that tree that's growing. But it seems like it's got uses for natural medicine, I believe. Maybe even some kind of a pain relief. I'm not for sure on that. That's it, good. That's a good one. Boy, look at all the acorns. This is a great year for acorns. Holy cow. They are everywhere. I bet the squirrels are happy. They're getting all they need to get ready for wintertime. always find these areas interesting where somebody has piled a bunch of rocks up. I've read somewhere that's the farmers years ago clearing these hillsides so they could plant crops. And they stacked all the rocks up, and they've been there a long, long time. There's an interesting formation right there. It's been there a long time. That tree's probably getting close to 50 years old. It's sitting on top of it. Why it formed like that, I don't know. Got some shroonies popping up. Some fall shroonies. Quite a few of them, actually. Here's one of the larger victims of the fire last year. Now that fire was set on purpose. That was an intentional burn. And I don't think it's made to drop big trees like this, but you can see it was pretty hollowed out anyways, and the fire probably weakened it some. A lot of people are going to ask me, why do you keep your dog on a leash all the time? Why don't you let Jazz run and run free? Well, two reasons. Number one, I'm pretty sure it's a rule on this trail, the 12 Loops trail, that if you take a dog, the dog needs to stay on a leash. But besides that, another reason why I do it is because I don't want Jazz to get into a fight with another dog. So if I'm coming down the trail and Jazz is out in front of me without a leash, and somebody comes the other way with their dog and it doesn't have a leash on, we could get into a great big dog fight really fast. And I try to avoid that. There's actually a third reason. A lot of people are scared to death of dogs. And I don't want somebody come busting up this trail from the other way and not realize they're going to come around a corner and meet the Jazz right here. And I wouldn't want to meet the Jazz either if I was scared of dogs. So I try not to do that. I try to be respectful of the other hikers. Keep Jazz. Come here, Jazz. And Jazz don't mind too bad. We're still new at hiking together. This is like only her second time out where we're really out busting some miles. You know, we're working on it. She kind of crosses in front of me. I cross in front of her. The main thing is what I try to do is I try to get her to learn my hiking pattern, and then that'll become her hiking pattern right there. Okay, bud? You ready to go some more? Hey, you getting tired? Huh? All right. You want to do some more hiking? Okay. One thing I do too is I always watch Jazz, and I watch where she's looking. Because a lot of times we'll stop and all of a sudden, man, she just starts staring in one direction. And her ears and her eyes are much better than mine. So I just like right there, see, she's smelling something in the forest. So I always pay attention and see if I can learn from her what is out there walking around. So this is a pretty nice little slice of the Hoosier National Forest. Doesn't have big mountains, doesn't have wide deserts or giant lakes, but what it does have is dense woods and pure wilderness. A lot of old growth trees in here. Big trees. So that's the thing about the Hoosier National Forest. Rarely will you come out here hiking and ever run into anybody, and if you do, it may be one or two. They're very friendly folks, and that's all you'll see the rest of the day. I've been a lot of places in America where you go hiking on very beautiful but populated trails where every 5 minutes you're running into somebody, running into a group, running into slower people passing you. It's okay, it's all part of the experience, but there's something about coming to a place where you're all by yourself. Basically all by yourself. It is getting close to hunting season though. So remember, if you decide to hike from October on, remember there's probably hunters up in the trees. Now they're not going to hurt you, but go ahead and wear your orange. Make sure they know you are out there. Be respectful. If you see them, try to be as quiet as you can. Wave and try to go on past out of their area. They're there doing some serious hunting. I used to run a big hunting store, and these guys and gals take their entire year's vacation coming up within the next 60 days. They are serious about it. This is what they love to do. That is hunt. After mid-October, getting into late October, and definitely the first 3 weeks in November, I stay out of the woods altogether. There's no reason for me to have to hike during that time because I know the hunters are out there. I know it's firearm season, and I know the type of guns that they can use now, and they can travel a long ways and shoot multiple times right in a row. So I just stay out of the woods. Come late November, everybody's got their game, everybody's got their hunt done, then it's okay to get back in the woods. It's not a problem. I've got a nice little hunter safety video out. I'll put a picture right here. Hunter safety, hiker safety. Everybody needs to learn to get together in the woods. Everybody needs to get along in the woods because it is heavily shared from now the next 60 days. The hikers love the colors. They want to get out. The hunters love the game. They want to get out. So you just basically have to be careful, be respectful. I don't need to hike those first few weeks in November. It's not necessary for me. I've had a lot of hikers kind of get upset with me when I even talk about wearing orange. They want nothing to do with orange. They think orange is obnoxious. Well, it's not for fashion, it's for safety. You want to be seen out here. If you notice, I've even got the Jazz girl hooked up here with some orange. That's pretty important right there. Not only is she seen out here, but also if a hunter does see her, they know she's with somebody. Somebody took the time to put orange on her. They would definitely refrain from taking a shot at her. Not all hunters would ever do that, but I have heard stories about guys on the trail for that giant buck, and right before it comes through, a stray dog comes through, scares the buck, starts barking at the hunter. I've heard people taking shots at animals like that. If you do take your dog out on the trail, make sure he or she has some orange on too. We don't want any mistakes out there. It's been pretty safe hunting seasons the last decade. I haven't heard about really any incidents happening. Let's just all be safe and have a good season together. What do you think? In the middle of the night, I heard a jazz growl. I thought, what is out there? She snarled and she barked, and it ran away. Oh Lord, thanks for bringing her with me here. Oh Jazzy. Jazzy don't mess around when it comes to strangers, do you, Jazzy? Heck no. Alright, let's go. Here's that section you could miss and really get yourself lost for just a little while anyways. But I know we want to go to the connection trail. Straight ahead, Jazz. Yep, You picked it. All right, Jazz. Good girl. Go back to camp. Go back to camp. All right. Let's go. Jump in. Come on. Good. No, stay. Stay. Good doggy. That's a good doggy. Good doggy. Good. Good doggy. I think we'll head back to camp now. Probably think about a little supper here in a little while. Get a real good night's sleep tonight. It's going to be pretty chilly, down around mid-40s. Hopefully we'll hear some coyotes and all kind of animals messing around. Glad you came along. Hey, have you ever been to the Hoosier National Forest? Have you ever camped at Indian Selena Lake? If you have, leave it in the comments. I'd be glad to hear what you think of it. Most of the time, everybody I've ran into just love it. There's some YouTube creators that I know from Southern Ohio. They were passing through, they stayed, they said they loved it. Said it was hot, a lot of bugs, but I think that was in July is when they came through. And definitely, they were right about that. Fall is the perfect time to come camp here. Fall doesn't last long, as we all know. It's my favorite season, but it goes by so fast. Seems like old man winter comes blowing in. Hey, I appreciate you coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest. Capital LAF Space Film Fest. Hey, if you would, hammer down that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Helps me to come out here, go camping like this, video together to share it with you and your friends and family. Gonna be a pretty nice evening here. Old Jazz has already crashed out in her bed over there. We probably did a total of about 4 miles, and by the time I do some camera work where you gotta go back and forth, it was probably close to 5 miles. Jazz isn't used to that. It wasn't bad. I didn't do too bad. A little bit winded in a few sections, but not bad at all. Here we got the camp host coming by. We'll wave at them and say hello. There they go. I tell you what, now that's one thing about Indian Selena Lake. They are very friendly here. The hosts really take good care of this park. The bathrooms are always clean. The shower units are clean. The campground itself is always nice and straightened up. And I noticed as campers leave, they go through and they take a personal tour of each campsite to make sure no trash was left. It's very nice. It's Hoosier hospitality at its best. And actually, I say it's Southern Indiana Hoosier hospitality at its best. I appreciate it. Thank you for everybody that worked so hard. Okay, got some more campers coming up right now. I'm going to make sure Jazz doesn't do any barking. She's not supposed to be barking at all. So let's see how quiet she's going to be. I'm breaking her in. She hadn't been camping very long, and I'm just kind of breaking her in and just seeing how she's doing right now. So far, so good. Stay. Good. 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 She's about 2 years old. Not necessarily like really friendly, you know. So that's why I keep her on a leash and keep a good eye on her. Yeah, you did good, Jazz. Good dog. Good. To me, just passed a big camping test right there. Because if you take a dog camping, that's cool. I love to see dogs camping, but there's something that's very irritating about someone that takes a dog camping and they bark at everybody walking by, and they're barking and barking and barking the whole time they're there. And it's just like, that's not a good thing. You got to keep your dog silent if it goes camping. You know, of course, unless there's a threat, then of course it should bark. Just for it to just bark at everything constantly is just really bothers all your neighbors and everything like that. So Jazz did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of you. I'm breaking her in slowly for the long, long trip. I was seriously going to take her up to Lake Superior this year. That trip got canceled for now. We'll just see how it goes. But right now, pretty impressive. She's doing pretty good. Way to go, Jazzy.